Today I'm sewing up a free pattern from Unfettered Patterns, originally designed as a casual t-shirt dress with a relaxed silhouette and a classic crew neck. I've cropped mine into a t-shirt length and I've made it with a 10-ounce cotton spandex jersey from mytextilefabric.com. The fabric is soft, comfortable, and has such a great drape. To give it a custom store-bought look, I added embroidery to the front using my Poolin EOC06 embroidery machine before the construction. But even without embroidery, this project is perfect for practicing your stitch settings. Just a quick overview of the stitches I'll be using for the t-shirt. For the shoulder, sleeves, and side seams, I use a zigzag of 0.5 width and 2.5 length and finish those seam allowances together with a zigzag of 2.5 width and 3 length. For the neckband, I use a lightning bolt stitch and top stitch the seam allowance down from the right side with a visible hem stitch. And lastly, I hem the sleeves and the bodice with a twin needle. The outcome is neat and professional, and I hope you sew this tee once or twice or thrice. Let's get started. I'll start by cutting out my pattern pieces. My front piece, back piece, sleeve piece, and neckband. I'm going to be creating embroidery in the center of the shirt, so I'm going to mark where I want the placement to be. For my embroidery hoop, I'm going to start by placing a piece of tearaway stabilizer as the bottommost layer, followed by a layer of no-show mesh, and I'll hoop these first, the tearaway stabilizer and the no-show mesh on top. I'll mark the center of my hooped interfacings, spray with basting spray, and place the wrong side of my front bodice piece on top, aligning the markings. Before I take that to the machine, I'm going to cut a piece of water-soluble stabilizer to place on top so that the stitches don't sink into the material. Now I'm ready to stitch out the design. Once that's stitched out, you can remove the water-soluble stabilizer and also tear away the stabilizer layer from the back. Then lastly, we can cut the no-show mesh away from the design. I'll use my iron to remove the heat erasable markings from the front of the shirt, and we're ready to construct our t-shirt. Place the front and back shirt pieces right sides together. Pin the shoulder seams. Sew the shoulders with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, finish the raw edges if preferred, and press them to the back of the garment. Here are my front and back bodice pieces opened out at the shoulder seam with the right side of the fabric facing me. Place the corresponding sleeve right sides together with the bodice, aligning the notches that indicate the shoulder seam as well as the front and back. Pin in place. Sew the sleeve in place with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, finish the raw edges together if preferred, and repeat on both sides for both sleeves. Place the front and back pieces as well as their sleeves right sides together and pin the side seam and underarm seams. Sew both side seams from raw edge to raw edge with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and finish the raw edges together if preferred, then press toward the back of the garment. Fold your neckband in half right sides together, aligning the short edges. Sew with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and press the seam open. Then we'll fold the neckband in half wrong sides together. and give that a press. Place the neckband right sides together with the neckline, aligning the seam of the neckband with the center back, and pin in place all the way around, also aligning the notches. Sew the neckband in place with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, slightly stretching the neckband to fit from point to point. Then you can finish in your preferred method. I've opened out the neckband away from the seam allowance as it will be worn, and I've left the seam allowance unfinished. I'm going to top stitch and finish that seam at the same time, using a decorative stitch that will also provide stretch. I'll sew right underneath the main seam all the way around, catching the seam allowance as I go. I've pressed the bottom raw edge of the garment to the wrong side all the way around by 1 inch, and I've installed my twin needle on my machine. From the right side of the garment, I'm going to sew close to the raw edge on the other side all the way around to create a nice professional finish. Repeat the exact same process to hem the bottoms of the sleeves, pressing the raw edge to the wrong side by 1 inch and top stitching all the way around with a twin needle. And now our t-shirt is complete. Thank you for watching this sew along. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future sewing tutorials, and I'll see you in the next video.